Hey guys, Craig with SingleLengthSchool.com here, and it is Friday, which means we've got another tip for you. And actually, this is going to start what is probably going to be a 2 episode lesson, possibly 3, depending on how episode 2 goes. This is something I've had a lot of questions about, and I mean a lot of questions. It's something that not necessarily pertains just to single length, but every golfer out there. And it's something I help a lot of people with, just basically because it's the biggest flaw in most games, most amateur games that we see. So today we're going to talk about what you need and what you should have, but this little mini series, 2-part, 3-part, whatever it may be, I'll have the second part for you next week, is all about this guy, the driver. So the driver itself is a club that causes a lot of people issues. It's hard to hit straight. If you don't hit it right, you can't hit it far. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with the driver. So the first thing I always notice, and I'm always telling students and giving tips on, is step 1 is make sure you have the right driver for you. So what do I mean by that? I'm not saying you need to go out and spend $500 on a driver, but having one just off the rack without the right setup can definitely hamper your game. And what I mean is, if you don't have the right shaft flex in your driver, it can cost you yards, it can cost you accuracy, it can cost you a lot of things. So when you're buying a driver, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have the right shaft. So shafts are all based on swing speeds and launch angles. So the best way to do it is honestly to go get fit and find that right combination for you. Just as some guidance, you know, there's senior graphite shafts that help people with swing speeds, let's say under 90 miles an hour. Regular shafts help people 90 to 98, 100 miles an hour, somewhere in there. Then you've got a stiff shaft that'll help 95 to 105, 108, somewhere in that area. And then you've got extra stiff, which is what I carry, mainly because my swing speed's over 110. So it's all about what shaft works best for you. Launch angles also big deal. There's shafts that help with higher launch angles. There's shafts that help with lower launch angles. All kinds of variations. The one thing I do tell a lot of guys is don't be afraid to actually get a shorter shaft. A lot of drivers come in standard at 45 and a half, 46 inches. That's hard for a lot of players to hit because that's a really long club. Don't be afraid to go down to 44 and a half or 45 inches, because the shorter the shaft, the easier it's going to be for you to hit the center of the club face. When you hit the center of the club face, you're going to hit it further, you're going to hit it straighter. So guys, this is part 1. I know it's a little bit shorter, but it's a very important part. Make sure you have the right driver for your game. Make sure the shaft's the right flex. Try and go a little bit shorter. It's going to help improve your accuracy and your distance. Next week, we'll actually get into the setup and the swing and how to correct slices and hooks and things like that. But if you like this video, make sure you subscribe down below. Again, check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Single Length School, over on Twitter at One Length School. And guys, we'll come at you with more tips next week on the driver. But for now, remember, size matters. Choose one length. Thanks, guys, and have a good